one of the great moments in sports history, one of the great moments in human history. It's the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks today. Welcome to Jackie Robinson Day across Major League Baseball, and we say welcome inside. Joe Davis or Hershiser. As always, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment, and we say this a lot, but this is such a special day across baseball, but especially here with a franchise that Jackie broke the barrier.
The giveaway here at Dodger Stadium is a replica Jackie Robinson jersey, but I really think about reflecting on equality and what you can do in your own life to make that better.
And we'll spend the day remembering Jackie Robinson and his ongoing legacy. We got a great pitching matchup too as these teams face off in the final game of the series. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Everybody knows about him. Zach Godley for the Diamondbacks. People starting to learn about this guy.
Yeah, he's got an outstanding curveball. These two went toe-to-toe back on April 3rd. Clayton Kershaw had a nice solid outing. A couple of long balls hurt him, and the other thing that really hurt him was no run support from the Dodgers. Frustration started to brew back there in Arizona for Clayton and for these Dodgers who have been getting swept by the Diamondbacks. They're going to try to avoid that today. But Zach Godley on the other side, this is a name we are going to get to know. You talk about the Diamondback pitching staff, you're looking at a guy that could be the ace of this staff, and it has Zach Rickey on there, it has Taijuan Walker, but Godley has been the best.
Best ERA in the National League so far. The Dodgers trying to solve these Diamondbacks, get things headed in the right direction on Jackie Robinson Day. A gorgeous day for baseball, and you're glad that you're spending it with us. At Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, Jackie Robinson made his major league debut. Now every year on April 15th across Major League Baseball, we remember Jackie Robinson and all that he did for this sport and for American human history. We go down to the field presented by El Pollo Loco. Here's Alana.
Guys, while all of Major League Baseball is honoring the late, great Jackie Robinson, the Los Angeles Dodgers have a bit more responsibility than the other 29 clubs. Prior to the game, the Los Angeles Dodgers scholars were honored by the Jackie Robinson Foundation as 10 men and women who exemplified Jackie Robinson's legacy. Now, a decade from now, LA is hosting the 2028 Summer Olympics. Former Robinson scholar Brian Nelson, you see him right there, threw out the first pitch. Matt Kemp was his catcher, guys.
A very special day for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it's fantastic to watch Jackie's legacy not only be something that we remember, but something that we act on.
And a fittingly beautiful day for it as Clayton Kershaw gets ready to face off with this Diamondbacks lineup. Arizona 11-3, the best start in franchise history thus far. And it's all begun at the top with David Peralta, who's reached in all 11 games that he's played in. Then Marte and Goldschmidt, who homered last night. A.J. Pollock homered twice in last night's game. Dan Descalso bats fifth, followed by Chris Owings. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, and doing the catching for Zach Godley is Jeff Mathis. Well, Clayton Kershaw's got a 1.89 ERA, very Clayton Kershaw-like, but only 3 runs of support in his 3 starts so far, so you see the 0-2 record.
Looking for his first victory, and there's no better guy to have on the mound to turn the Dodger pitching issues around than Clayton Kershaw. The first 4 games of the year, the Dodger staff a .5 ERA, best in MLB. Since then, a 5.54, the 4th worst in MLB. But they got the ace on the hill today, and he can turn it around.
Facing Arizona for the second time. He saw these Diamondbacks on April 3rd in Phoenix and gave up 2 runs on 2 solo home runs, including one to this man, David Peralta. Off we go with a fastball strike at the knees of Peralta. Played in 11 games and reached in all of them. An awkward swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Clayton trying to do what he did last Sunday in San Francisco when he took a shutout into the 8th inning. Final line was 1 run over 7+. Giants got a run off Chagua after Kershaw had left. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Clayton has been outstanding with his off-speed pitches this year. You see the ERA there this season. After a loss, he has been a stopper. The thing I'm going to watch today with Clayton is just the fastball effectiveness. The league's hitting over 400 on his fastball right now, but the curveball and the slider have still carried him.
On a 2-2. Little jam shot rolled inside the bag at third. Hernandez can't pick it off of the deck. And Peralta's aboard on a sloppy play at third with Kike Hernandez starting for the first time there this season. Logan Forsythe put on the disabled list with a right shoulder discomfort. And Hernandez unable to pick this one up.
Dodgers playing without Justin Turner. He was out taking a few hand-rolled ground balls today, dry swings yesterday. Then they moved to Logan Forsythe, and now Kike Hernandez getting a shot over there today. And you might even see Kyle Farmer over there in a few days.
So Chase Utley back-to-back starts at second. Dave Roberts said you may see some Austin Barnes at second base moving forward. As Kershaw pours in a strike to Ketel Marte. Out in front of a breaking ball, and that's been the story for Kershaw, right? I mean, the slider and the curve like you expect from him, but that .417 average for the league against his fastball, the 2nd highest in the National League.
He's throwing a larger and larger percentage of breaking balls this year. until that fastball effectiveness starts to come back. I don't think anybody's worried about the fastball at all. Does it go down a tick in velocity every year he pitches? About maybe a half a mile an hour. As long as he's locating it and above 90, I think it'll be fine.
Peralta hopping around over there at first as a 1-2 curve sinks low and evens the count up. On Sunday against San Francisco, the velocity on it was 91.3 on average, which was the third lowest fastball velocity in a single start in his entire career. The only two that had a lower average fastball velocity, the game before and the game after his DL stint last year. Full count on Marte. But we've talked about this before too, and that is that if there's any pitcher built to survive a little bit of a drop in velocity, it's him.
Clayton is, he has pitched where people know he's going and he still beats them to the spot. His fastball inside, his slider down and in, his curveball is almost unhittable. So if he loses a little on the fastball, as long as he can locate it and it's part of the arsenal, that'll help set up the slider. It'll help set up the outside part of the plate where he doesn't go very much to righties, and it keeps him off the curveball. All of a sudden they can forget about a pitch. That's when you have a problem.
Comes another 3-2 and another foul ball. Ketel Marte riding a 9-game hitting streak into this one after a 1-for-5 night last night. Diamondbacks win a 1-run game on Friday night, 8-7, but cruise last night. 9-1 was the final. 7 of their 10 hits in that game went for extra bases. Got him on the outside corner with a slider for the first out of the afternoon.
Put away a guy who's hitting 370 off of left-handers this year. This is the thick and heart of their order and why they are 7-0 against lefties. Marte and Goldschmidt have owned lefties this year.
One of the premier matchups you'll watch in the National League, in Kershaw against Goldschmidt. Clayton's gotten the better of him over the course of their head-to-head matchups lifetime. Here's one by the bag foul, strike one. Goldschmidt just a .217 hitter against Kershaw. Has homered twice against him.
I'm sure Goldie's at the point now that he's going to change his theory on how he's going to attack Clayton, what he might look for or what he might try and lay off of.
Plays off the curve in the dirt for a ball. One on, one out. And the toss over. Goldschmidt hit his third home run of the road trip last night. A no doubt 2-run shot against Rich Hill. Into the second deck just inside the foul pole and left. On this 1-1, Goldschmidt watches it take off for ball two. It was his 29th career home run against the Dodgers, which is a pretty wide margin, the most for any active player. Three and one.
It's hard to say this is a big inning or a big at bat, but where the Dodgers are right now emotionally and trying to dig themselves out of a hole, playing a team that has set their franchise record for a start of a season, and they happen to be a National League West combatant. This is big to set the tone.
On a 3-1 pitch, Goldschmidt fouls it off, and it looks like it clipped part of the unprotected region of Austin Barnes. Hopefully it's somewhat protected. A full count. That start you're talking about for Arizona at 11-3. That's a half game off the best mark in the NL entering the day. The Mets 11-2. Goldschmidt down on strikes as that slider sneaks under his bat for out number 2.
Using the outer half of the plate with the breaking ball. The last 2 hitters get one couple of strikeouts.
With 2 gone, it's Pollock, who went deep twice last night. Fouls that one off his back foot, strike 1. It's going to take him a minute to feel right again. Not a whole lot of padding back there. Oh, back knee.
All kinds of injuries. Pain today. It's on bone. The pain doesn't go away very fast, and if it hits a nerve, it might last a while.
There's some legendary Jackie Robinson stories about how tough he was. Obviously, tough attitude and character going through what he went through, but physically just a really tough customer to deal with. Sal Magley, who you've probably heard of, the barber they called him because he used to like to pitch up and in, give you close shaves. 1951, Jackie Robinson was upset that he was really going at Dodger hitters early in the game. It looked like kind of headhunting them. They took his anger out with a home run against him. Magley then retaliated and hit Jackie's teammate and close friend Pee Wee Reese. So the Dodgers did what you do. They threw at Bobby Thompson the next inning. Should be over at that point. But Magley throws up and in on Jackie his next time up. Jackie wanted more payback. He's not going to let it end right there. He bunts the next pitch that he sees up the first base line, hoping that Magley would field it. It rolled foul, but Jackie still ran him over. Channeling his old UCLA football days. Bowled the barber over in foul territory. Benches cleared. Almost turned into a brawl. They restored order, and then Jackie finishes the at-bat with a single. Sal walked him his next time up, pitching around him. And Jackie had an edge on the barber the rest of his career. On a 1-1, Pollock cracks his bat on a foul ball, strike 2. You know you're tough when you're intimidating a guy whose nickname is the Barber because he's known for throwing up and in.
We said of Jackie, I want somebody tough enough not to fight.
Yeah, pretty remarkable that that's about the extent of the physical retaliation stories that you have on Jackie Robinson. Kershaw trying to navigate around the leadoff air. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. That's up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You think about the prejudice and the color barrier that Jackie broke, and a lot is talked about the prejudice that was on the field. We think about the writers that are writing articles about the game and really covering it for history, where we do a lot of the research. That they had a prejudice in their heart too, I'm sure. And we're not always writing the facts. Think about how great he really was compared to what is recorded. And if you look at the numbers, they can't change those, but the editorial around it could be changed.
Helped the Dodgers win 6 pennants. Yeah, because that stuff gets lost, and you understand why, but it gets lost because of the bigger picture of what Jackie did. He was an all-star 6 times. Won Rookie of the Year. He won an MVP. Another 2-2 from Kershaw to Pollock, who chops one to short. There's Corey Seager. And after the air starts the inning, the Diamondbacks down in order. The Dodgers come to bat against Zach Godley on the other side of this break. Taylor and Corey Seager, both guys trying to get things going, hitting around 200 in the early going. Matt Kemp's back in the 3 spot. Batting cleanup, Cody Bellinger, then Puig and Barnes. Chase Utley back-to-back starts for the first time this year, and Hernandez starting at 3rd for the first time this year. Against the man they call the Bull, because he's like a bull in a china shop. Best earned run average in the National League through his first 2 starts.
Fastball, cutter, curveball to righties, adds the changeup to lefties. Dodgers could have piled up a couple more lefties in the lineup, but didn't, because Godley has a 111 batting average against lefties this year. He is dominating them. Righties almost hit 100 points higher.
It's a righty that greets him, and Chris Taylor. And he tails one in for a strike, and it seems backwards, right, with that curveball of his. But his curveball pretty unique for most that you see. Struck out 9 in his last start against San Francisco, over 7 shutout innings. All 9 of those strikeouts came on the curve. Bottom of the zone, strike 2 with a pair of fastballs.
That sinker at 2-seamer has got outstanding movement. You see on the first 2 pitches, I think that's what also gives the lefties trouble, running it away from him. If you hit your spots with good stuff, it's so easy to play defense behind you too.
There's the curve, and on 3 pitches, Taylor's the first out.
2-seamer in, 2-seamer away that he dots, and then the curveball, where the league's hitting around 130 off of it, finishes Taylor off.
Second time they've seen him this year already. April 3rd, 1 run over 7 innings. So he's given up just 1 run over 14 innings total this year. Here's Corey Seager. Going after the first pitch and tapping it to Marte. A little bit of a juggle, but plenty of time. 2 out. Brings up Matt Kemp. And on this Jackie Robinson day, Kemp prior to the game wearing the giveaway today, the Jackie Robinson throwback jersey, stopped out by the statue, which was put up between his 2 stints as a Dodger, put up last season. He went out and snapped a picture. Kemp off of the bench last night, struck out in a pinch hit appearance. The knee doing just fine after crashing into the wall on Friday night. It's a scheduled start for Jack Peterson against Walker yesterday. Can't lay off. 0-2.
I'm shaking my head, but not at the Dodger hitters, at Godley's stuff. The curveball is late and sharp, and the two-seamer right now has outstanding movement. It's not so bad when you hit the corners with it, huh?
I guess, huh? We learned a little bit about that. And he makes Kemp look bad and runs his way off of the field on 7 pitches, all of them strikes. Retires the Dodgers in order.
Friday on an all-new Backstage Dodgers. LA Ram All-Pro running back Todd Gurley pays a visit to Dodger Stadium to throw out the first pitch. Plus, JT Chagua adjusts to life in LA. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Right,
On to the second, no score. They got the wrong number for Kershaw. Those guys sitting in the stands with those 22 jerseys. All wearing 42 today. To Descalso with a check swing foul. And it's 0-1. Descalso had one of the 2 home runs against Kershaw in his first start against the Diamondbacks this year. And then had another in the first game of this series. Big curve falls out of the sky, strike 2. Awesome.
It is awesome.
And then a slider. Sharp stuff from Kershaw to sit Descalso down. Already his 3rd.
And you can land your curveball and it's breaking sharp up in the strike zone, and then you throw this one. It's like the curveball set that pitch up, because that looks like that's going to be one right in there.
With 1 out, Chris Owings. Goes after the first one and sprays it foul. Dodgers trying to end this 3-game skid. They dropped 7 of 9. Started the homestand with a win, trying to finish it with a win and springboard themselves into San Diego. Open a 3-game series with the Padres tomorrow night. On an 0-2, Owings taps it foul. A slow start. Really nothing new. Now this one is worse than the previous, but there have not been fast starters at any point during this run of 5 consecutive division titles. And last year, But a week before April finished, they sat 11-13. He gets Owing swinging, and that's already 4 punch-outs for Kershaw.
6 punch-outs total in the game, all on breaking balls by the 2 pitchers. One right-hander, Godley, and Kershaw, who's been using that outside corner quite well so far.
So he's retired 5 in a row since Peralta reached on an error to start the afternoon. And here's Nick Ahmed, who loves playing the Dodgers for some reason. Here he rolls it to short. Corey Seager's up with it. And Clayton Kershaw on 8 pitches retires the side in order in the second. Off and rolling on Jackie Robinson Day. No score.
Fans in attendance receive a Cody Bellinger bobblehead commemorating his National League Rookie of the Year award, courtesy of Spectrum. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Well, the Dodgers' slow start as a team doesn't have anything to do with Cody Bellinger. He's a second-year big leaguer, hitting .366 over his last 10 games. Again, Zach Godley to open the second. He looks at a pitch for a strike. After Bellinger was hitless over the first 3 days of the season. With his first home run in the final game of that season opening series, and been really good over the last 10. It's outside, ball 1.
Not enough has been made about Cody making the adjustment. Those first 9 at bats, we were still talking about the hole in his swing, down and in, breaking ball from righties that he was still swinging at. And since then, he has started to cover up that hole and some others. And he will tell you right now, he's not completely locked in, but he's getting really close. There's a few pitches that are very hittable in the last few days that he has swung and missed or fouled off, that when he's completely locked in, he will pummel.
Curveball sharply breaks under him, 2-2. That's right where teams have attacked Bellinger.
I think big league hitters that have made adjustments.
Tapped over the glove. We've got a whole group of guys on the right side of the infield.
It's one thing to have a guy with a normal curveball get to that spot. Now you think, okay, I got an issue. But when a guy like Godley, or if it's a Kershaw, or if it's somebody with an outstanding breaking ball gets you, you just kind of tip your hat. I think you register how you're doing with your swing a little bit more about guys that are just normal to average big leaguers.
Now, among starters, number 2 in baseball in whiff percentage on his curveball, behind just John Lester. The 3 guys are relievers. 1 out for Puig. It takes a curve in the dirt for ball 1. How about the shoes Yasiel's rocking today? The Jackie Robinson Day 42 socks. Bouncing ball. The shortstop Ahmed with a jungle. Can't pull the trigger. Dodgers have their first base runner on an Ahmed error, which is a rare thing.
All infielders have a clock, and the clock is on how hard is the ball hit, where am I, and how fast does this guy run? How hard does he run? That one hitting the heel of Ahmed's glove, something he rarely does. But what Yasiel always does, he smells a hit and he runs hard.
So in 2 innings in this game, just 1 base runner each side, both coming on an error from the left side of the infield. Austin Barnes making the start behind the plate today. Godley's first pitch from the stretch is at the belt for a strike. Barnes has taken a back seat to Yasmani Grandal as far as the catching duties, but Dave Roberts saying before the game today that he could see Barnes playing second base more in the coming days with Logan Forsythe out. Kike Hernandez set to see more time at third. Outside, ball 1.
The flexibility with Austin Barnes and Yasmani Grandal is completely there because of Kyle Farmer. Farmer can do it all, and they are not afraid to put him in any situation late. I mean, you might have guys that are on your bench that are classified utility or non-starters most of the time. You want to be able to bring them in key situations, not just have them just for one little spot. And no matter if you need Farmer to catch, you need him to play third or second or short. If you need him to even shag a ball in the outfield, and a key at bat, man on third, less than 2 outs late in the game, not afraid to bring him up there either. So everything he does at above average level.
4 for 6 as a pinch hitter so far. No score in the second. Puig at first with 1 out. Zach Godley to Austin Barnes with a 2-1 delivery. That's ball 3. Chase Utley will bat next. Zach Godley, who turns 28 years old a week from yesterday. It's ready to fire this 3-1. Puig runs. Barnes takes ball 4. First and second with 1 out. And Chase Utley coming up.
Something that Dave Roberts talked about in the postgame show yesterday about the offense, talking about passing the baton. That, you know, everybody wants to relate back to next year, and pretty soon we'll be relating back to the beginning of this season. But for now, the things you saw in this offense last year was patience and the ability to pass the baton.
The Dodgers a year ago were #1 in baseball in walk rate. And they're in the bottom 6 in walk rate so far this year. It's a hard thing because you don't want to tell your hitters to go up there and try to walk. But the walks typically are products of other better focuses. First and second, 1 out. And Chase Utley takes the ball.
You know, the Dodgers will preach aggressiveness on balls in the strike zone, especially the ones you want to hit. And then they say when you start hitting those well, you scare pitchers out of the strike zone, and that's when the walks pile up. Good hitting makes you a good walker.
Dave Roberts talks about scaring pitchers out of the zone. On a 1-0 pitch, Utley takes ball 2, watching that thing all the way into the glove.
Moved Godley from the windup to the stretch because of the error, and 6 out of the last 7 pitches have been balls.
He had only walked 1 over his first 2 starts. He walks Barnes and falls behind Utley 2-0. That's a strike over the inside.
A lot of times when you've been throwing that many balls, you don't get those edges. You almost have to earn the whole plate. Maybe just grazing the inside corner there. The guy has a lot of movement like Kershaw, like Godley. Home plate umpires really have to bear down, stay with a pitch, because you'll have one that'll break outstanding and come all the way back, start as a ball, and you'll have others that don't move quite as much but stay a strike.
Not close there. Kike Hernandez due next. Dodgers trying to do something nobody's been able to do so far this year against Godley. Granted, it's only a couple of starts, but not giving up a hit yet with runners in scoring position this year. Hardly any bending, no breaking for this guy. Takes a deep breath in a tough spot here in a scoreless second with 2 on and 1 out. Here's his 3-1. Utley pulls it foul. The count is full. Same thing with Kershaw. He's really buckled down when his back has been put against the wall.
When you're going to be an ERA under 2 and an ERA under 1, you're going to be real good with runners in scoring position. Clayton's ERA really just built on solo home runs. 3 of the 4 runs he's given up.
Puig at second, Barnes at first. Godley's 3-2, and Utley takes it in the dirt, ball 4 to load the bases. 1 walk entering the inning on this season. Back-to-back walks here. And what a spot for Kike Hernandez.
It'll be interesting to see if Godley goes back to the windup, since he has struggled so much from the stretch here. Even though it's bases loaded, 1 out, he needs strikes.
Early visit from the pitching coach Mike Butcher.
Well, the script for the first 2 games of this series has been the starting pitcher has a physical problem early in the game.
Right.
One continued on, Zach Greinke, and did really, really well, but Walker had a short outing, and their bullpen was fantastic yesterday. And it looks like all of a sudden, here it is early, 2nd inning, and Godley's having an issue out there.
Taijuan Walker, by the way, right forearm tightness. Went on the disabled list today, and he's going to get an MRI tomorrow. So they'll hold their breath for the next 24 hours before they get a look at the results of that. Hernandez, who does have a grand slam in his career, and regardless, hitting the ball out of the park, been really good in these situations. Puig at third, Barnes at second, and Utley at first. They've loaded him up without the benefit of a hit in this game. And now Hernandez trying to make Godley pay. Takes ball 1. It is so early in this game, but man, it's hard not to feel like this is a big spot. The bigger picture of the early season for the Dodgers. Looking for something to go right. Trying to take some momentum early in the game. Godley's 1-0. Can't lay off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
First pitch ran all the way across the plate and was a ball inside, and then comes back with that little cutter on the outside corner. PK's glad, I'm sure, he swung and missed right there, because that could have been a weak ground ball turned into a double play.
Dodgers have hit into a lot of those this year, among the leaders in all of baseball. On a 1-1 pitch, Hernandez swings and misses, strike 2. The cutter again.
His cutter a little different than Kenley Jansen's. Kenley has more like that side-to-side late movement. That one has some decline to it and dropped about a width of a ball.
It's almost like a tight version of his curve.
Mm-hmm.
Godley hunting a strikeout here. Bases loaded, 1 out in the second. Let's go of a 1-2. Hernandez pops it into center. Pollock measures it up. He's got it. Here comes Puig. Here comes the throw. It is not in time, and the Dodgers have the lead in the second. All 3 runners advance as Kike Hernandez brings home Puig and makes it 1-0.
Kike has seen a lot of pitches out there, makes a good enough adjustment to drop the top hand, extend the swing, and hit it far enough to get Yasiel in. Yasiel didn't look too happy after the slide, like that wrenched his shoulder a little bit.
He leans up awkwardly in the corner of the bat rack, out of sight of the camera, as Kershaw comes up with men at second and third and 2 out. And takes the ball. See that slide again you're talking about, all.
It's a little awkward there.
Yeah, on the right shoulder.
Yeah. The runner, as he comes in, is a lot of times reading the catcher to see where the throw's going to be, so where you decide to go. As he went up the first base line, Yasiel went wide.
Bounce gently to first. Goldschmidt will take it to the bag, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers get the game's first run, and after 2, it's 1-0. Brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. Well, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier on this date in 1947. That opened the door for the next year catcher Roy Campanella, and then the year after that, that man there in the middle, Don Newcomb, who is still very much part of this Dodge organization and was part of the ceremony's pregame today. As always, the best dressed man in the building.
A mentor to a lot of Dodgers, very close to Kenley Jansen, and a perfect gentleman. We had the chance to sit and chat with him many a day and learn a tremendous amount.
Everybody wearing 42. It was retired across baseball on the 50th anniversary of his debut in 1997. First time everybody wore it was 2009, so a full decade now of everybody wearing 42 on this date. Clayton Kershaw back to the hill to open the third inning against Jeff Mathis. Jackie's first season, 1947, he had gotten death threats ahead of a series in Cincinnati. So they're headed to Crossley Field to play the Reds. And because of so many death threats that he'd gotten before that series, there were police, there were FBI, they had sharpshooters lining the top of the ballpark. 2 balls, no strikes. So as you can imagine, everybody's really uptight, a little bit nervous about what's going on as they enter the ballpark that day. During the pregame meeting, all sitting around, everybody kind of quiet. One of the young outfielders in the Dodger clubhouse speaks up and say, "Hey, I've got an idea." That's a swing and a miss, 2-1. Gene Hermansky was his name. He said, "I know how we can help Jackie out in this tough situation. Why don't we all wear 42?
Yeah.
And now every April 15th they do. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kershaw with another K on a slider. That's already his 5th of the day.
These are the kind of days that the team is struggling, and Clayton takes the mound as the stopper, and in his mind he wants to make that 1 run stand up.
Gets his counterpart here, Zach Godley. He takes ball 1 low. How do you feel about Godley having a nickname very similar to yours?
It doesn't bother me.
No, it's not.
He's aggressive. My aggression was more just in my facial expression. His is like running on and off the field, and
you didn't run. You kind of swagged.
I don't know about swag, but there was a distinct walk.
1 ball, 2 strikes. They call him the Bull. Not quite the Bulldog.
That was yesterday, pup in the park.
That's right. 1-2. On top, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Was our final count 632 dogs, something like that? 635, 532. Lots of dogs. Foul tip. Barnes can't hang on, and we'll do the 2-2 again.
Sore feet in the big leagues. My dogs are barking. Just got hit in the puppies. You get a foul tip off your feet.
Six Ks for Kershaw through 2 2/3. So once through the order, Oral, he's struck out 6 and gotten 3 groundouts. One of those was an error at third, but pretty much perfectly executed so far for Kershaw this afternoon. Here he comes to David Peralta. Strike 1 with a fastball. Sure has great pace about him right now.
He's attacking. He had to pitch from the stretch to the second hitter after the error at third base, but locked back in. A few strikeouts and a ground out for the rest of that inning. Godley struggled when he had to go into the stretch from the error on the Arizona side, so Kershaw out pitching him right now.
Slider's a little bit away, and it's 2-2.
active pitchers will tell you that I don't pitch against the opposing pitcher, I pitch against the opposing lineup. But the way you pitch against the opposing pitcher is you have to compare results. What they do, you have to match or better. And when the results start to come in during a game and you see the opposing pitcher on their game, or you see your offense get you a run and you know the opposing pitcher is really good, yeah, you're not pitching against him, but it starts to feel like you are as you see how the game goes.
Peralta sends a fly ball to right center field. Taylor's back on it, off the wall, and it ricochets wildly towards center. Peralta hangs on with a double, the first hit of the day for either side.
Second baseman, Marte.
First good swing by Peralta on a ball that's slightly up. Ball here at Dodger Stadium carries so much better during the day than it does at night. And then Peralta, smart base running. He might have pushed that to a triple, but with 2 outs, you're already in scoring position at second.
Diamondbacks got a lot of work done yesterday with 2 out against Rich Hill. In fact, their first run of the day came with this combination. Peralta keeping the inning alive and Marte coming through with a 2-out double. Here he looks at ball 1.
We showed the graphic earlier on these 2 starting pitchers and how good they have been with runners in scoring position. Clayton 077 this year so far. Godley has not given up a hit with a runner in scoring position this year.
Kershaw to Marte 1-0, and he gets in the hands for a strike. Ketel Marte, Diamondbacks gave him a wonderful surprise days before the season when they offered him a long-term extension before he got anywhere close to becoming a free agent for the first time. He signed a 5-year deal worth $24 million. He's only 24. He's only in his 4th year as a big leaguer. Cracks his bat, softly rolled to Chase Utley. That does it for the Diamondbacks in the 3rd. They get a hit, but nothing else. To the bottom half, 1-0.
to pick up just their 5th win so far this season. But earlier today, when talking about Jackie Robinson Day, manager Dave Roberts says, you know what, I understand we're not playing good baseball right now. And you look at the 4-9 record, and the fans are understandably upset. But when you think about what Jackie Robinson had to endure as far as the hatred, and you guys were just talking about the death threats, he said, we're not happy with our record, but it does put some things into perspective. If not for him, we wouldn't even be here.
All right, Alana. Dave, of course, the first minority manager of the Dodgers. He's said before, he recognizes the responsibility that comes with that. Here's a 1-0 to Chris Taylor. It tails back into the zone. It's ripped to third. It's stopped by Descalso. It's the first out. And a nice play by drawn-in Descalso. Dave's dad, who passed away within the last year or two, Wayman, was the only African-American student at his high school many years ago. And started to educate Dave about who Jackie Robinson was and what Jackie Robinson represented when Dave was a teenager. He said first time he remembers talking about him with his father was probably 14, 15 years old. That's a ball on Seager. And Dave, many things in common with Jackie. They both went to UCLA. Played his college ball at Jackie Robinson Field there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Major League Baseball's very first Jackie Robinson Day. It was while Dave was a player. That was before everybody wore 42. Each team would choose 1 player to wear 42 to represent Jackie, and the Padres chose Dave Roberts. Outside ball 2. And Dave that day wore his pants up like Jackie. Said he was taking extra aggressive leads, being a little bit extra daring, channeling his inner Jackie. Seager lays off, ball 3. Dave was born 1972. It was a few months before Jackie passed away. Last public appearance that Jackie Robinson made, he talked about wanting to live to see a black manager. It's a walk for Seager, and the Dodgers with a 1-out base runner. 2 years later, a guy that had finished his career with the Dodgers, Frank Robinson, became manager in Cleveland. The first African-American manager 2 years after. That was one of Jackie Robinson's last wishes. Frank Robinson, by the way, in the house today. Alana Rizzo telling us. Kemp bats with a man at first and 1 out. The Dodgers in front here in the 3rd. Strike 1. Curve at the knees, strike 2. It's a snap throw from Mathis, but Seager's got the hand in there safe. And it's 1-2 at the plate on Kemp.
Arizona employing a shift against Matt Kemp, even with 2 strikes. I'm surprised they're still there. Matt drives the ball in the air to right field. But there, reports say that he pulls it on the ground, even late in the count.
Kemp lays off and the count evens up. Godley losing his footing. Ball in a China shot.
Somebody in the Dodger bench is yelling sniper. Anybody falls down awkwardly, you'll hear that shout from one of the benches.
I think there was one last night on a Chris Taylor swing. He went down on pretty ordinary swing and a miss last night. Now a 2-2. Kemp looks at ball 3. And this is pretty rare from Godley. He'd walked 1 over his first 2 starts of the season. He's walked already 3 today. And he's got a 3-ball count on Kemp.
The stretch is where he has struggled. He has not found that delivery. Only about 50% strikes from the stretch.
The payoff. He walked him. That's the 4th free pass issued by Godley.
First baseman, Cody Bellinger.
Now with runners at first and second and 1 out, the cleanup man, Cody Bellinger, strides up.
Cody right here is looking to unleash one. Dodgers need some consistent offense. He's in the heart of the order, swinging the bat well. The table is set for him.
Grounded out his first time up. And the first pitch from Godley. He attacks and bounces it off of Godley. Everybody's safe and the bases are loaded.
Carl's cam replay. Cody Bellinger looking for something to hit hard, get something out over the plate. Like the angle and the speed kind of fooled Godley, who's a good fielder and a good athlete, but he doesn't get this one. And once the ball caroms the no man's land in the infield, it is going to be a sure hit with Bellinger's speed.
It's ruled a base hit, first of the day for the Dodgers, and they're loaded up as Mike Butcher comes out for the 2nd time in the first 3 innings. And Yasiel Puig comes to the plate.
Yasiel is hitting the 3 spot. He moved down to the 6 spot when Matt Kemp was slipped into the 3 hole and performed real well in the 6 hole and moved up to the 5. So now Dave Roberts really getting into the point of who's my hot hand, not really having a set lineup. A couple guys have been set. Chris Taylor and Corey Seager at the top.
Well, 2nd time in the last 2 innings they've had the bases loaded with 1 out. We got a run and a sacrifice fly from Hernandez last inning, but that was all. Trying to take advantage here in the 3rd. Yasiel Puig looks at ball 1. Puig still looking for his first home run of the season. Two balls, no strikes.
Sinker away for a ball, cutter away for a ball. Has to challenge him right here. No place to put him. He knows he's pitching against Kershaw. Not a lot of wiggle room.
Loaded up in the 3rd, and on a 2-0 pitch, Yasiel Puig looks at strike 1. Forcing Godley to find the zone, which he's only done half of the time so far. It's after a first inning where he threw 7 pitches, all of them strikes, and retired the side in order.
50-50 split, and most of the bad ones are from the stretch.
Running that a lot. 2-1. Inside, ball 3.
LCL is keyholing him right here. Bases loaded, 1 out, showing a lot of discipline. He's not swung the bat yet.
Can he get a hold of one here on a 3-1? Driven to center field, a base hit. This will bring home 2. Yasiel Puig with a 2-run single, and it's 3-0 Dodgers.
Outstanding at bat from Yasiel Puig right from the beginning. Pitch by pitch, discipline, looking for something up, something in the area where he wants it, nothing away he wants. That ball was going to be inside on him, that one too, but then he got one up and away. Hits it in the air to the left side of the diamond. No rollover there. Great approach using the middle of the field.
How about those takes? Not a flinch from Yasiel Puig. Locked in. First and second, still just one out, and it's Austin Barnes at the plate. He takes in the dirt. Barnes, one of those full walks.
Here's something shocking. Since that first inning where he threw 7 strikes, Godley, since then 44 pitches, only 18 strikes.
From a guy who absolutely pounded the zone his first 2 times out this year. It's in there for a strike, 1-1.
He's falling off the first base. When he throws his cutter or his breaking ball, he's spiking it to the left-hand batter's box, and then when he throws the fastball, it's up and just kind of tailing. And that tells you you're not staying behind your pitches and driving them to home plate.
Two and one.
You see where he's ending up. I mean, from the center field camera, Godley, after finishing his pitches, is ending up outside the left-hand batter's box. He has that in his delivery where he kind of falls, but he doesn't fall with his upper half usually. Usually it's from the lower half where he kind of clears and looks like he's going towards first base. Today he's going there with both the front hip and the front shoulder.
Kershaw watching the lead mount. 3-0 right now. Bottom 3. A rematch of an April 3rd pitching matchup, which Godley and the D-backs won 6-1. They've won 11 in a row against the Dodgers. That is the longest streak in LA Dodger history against one team. Godley to Barnes with a 2-1. Ball 3. Got to go back to 1938 to find the last time the franchise, LA or Brooklyn, lost more than 11 in a row to one team. The Giants beat them 12 in a row in 1937 and 1938. Longest losing streak in franchise history. 16 in a row to the Cubs in 1908 and 1909. Both those Cubs teams, by the way, world champs. Barnes takes strike 2. Three-two. Talking about that slide against Arizona, which obviously doesn't include the 3-game sweep in the division series. Trying to end it today. Bellinger's at second. Puig's at first after his 2-run single. And Godley to Barnes with another 3-2 pitch. This one's hit down the line and will become a souvenir.
Austin had a hack at one of those up fastballs. The Yasiel got his hit on, fouled that off, and that was the first curveball by Godley in the vicinity right there. As a pitcher, you have to read your spray pattern, and sometimes in remembering 4 or 5 of your mistakes, you start to realize what the physical adjustment back over the rubber is to get yourself back in the strike zone.
Eighth pitch of this at bat. Barnes trying to pay it off. Godley, who a lot of times works so fast, it has hitters on their heels. Granted, there's runners on base, but a completely different look and feel to him in this inning. As Barnes continues to make him work. Here's another payoff pitch. Another foul ball.
Guy who doesn't walk many, a guy who strikes out an awful lot of guys, having trouble putting people away and walking people today. When you have a 2 as the first number in your pitch count per inning, you're not going to be around very long.
On the 9th pitch, Barnes takes ball 4. What a trip up there for Austin Barnes. The 5th walk against Zach Godley loads him up again.
It's one thing to have a guy on the mound that is struggling. It's another thing to have guys get in the batter's box that are disciplined to take the walk. And the Dodgers are doing a nice job of that today. No anxiety from the losing streak or looking to avoid a sweep from the Diamondbacks. They are up there playing ball.
And now Otley, who has one of those 5 walks with a bases loaded opportunity. Trying to bust it open against the guy with the best ERA in the National League so far. Otley nearly gets hit, crawling over the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
Did that a few times last night, and balls were away and some were nearly on the plate, and boy, creeping in like that. He jumped and kind of arched away from it. He jumped straight up and down. He gets it right in the thigh, gets an RBI.
How do you feel about what he's doing there if you're Zach Godley?
You probably don't like it at all. It's very distracting, I'll tell you that. It's like when you get the guy that squares around a bunt early that you're not expecting to do that. Gets in your sight line.
What are you going to do, though? It's Chase Utley.
And you can't do anything right here. I mean, if you wanted to figure out a way like, oh, you're going to do that? You know, wear this one.
Right.
Can't do that with bases loaded, 1 out.
Outside, ball 2.
Chase has got a spot he is looking to drive the ball. Other than that, he will be happy with the walk and pass the baton. Got Thunder on deck. He's not hitting in the 8-hole. He's got Kike behind him.
On a 2-1, Chase Utley looks at ball 3.
The keyhole he is looking through just got smaller.
And at this rate, it's not even taking a keyhole for him to get into this count because Godley's not been close. Bases loaded in a 3-0 game in the 3rd. Already 2 in the bank on the Puig single. And now on a 3-1 pitch. Utley chops it foul and the count is full.
Chase was looking for something on the inner half. He didn't get the 2-seamer that would have ran back to his barrel. He got a little cutter in there that he had to kind of chase with his hands.
Dodgers only have 2 hits, but they have 5 walks. Nowhere to put Chase Utley. 3-2. Outside, he walks home a run for nothing. And he's matched a career high with 6 walks.
Some offenses explode, some get the home run, the double, the gapper. Dodgers doing a good job just passing the baton.
For the second time in the last 2 innings, Kike Hernandez finds himself up there with the bases loaded. Takes off on Godley, ball 1. First time around, Hernandez elevated a 2-strike pitch to center to bring home Puig for the first run of the day.
They worked him away that whole at bat. And with a guy on the mound that is struggling and a catcher looking for areas that they can get Kike out, Kike is in a great place understanding what they're trying to do and having trouble doing it.
Caught the corner. 1-1. See some stirring down in that bullpen, but the Diamondbacks really don't want to have to go to it at this point. Having gotten 7 innings from the pen yesterday when Taijuan Walker left after 2 with the injury. The 1-1. Strike 2.
That was the one. That was the hittable pitch right there. If something negative happens for Kike in this at bat, he will look back on this little hanger as why didn't I offer it that?
Curveball cracks his bat on a roller to third. Descalso comes home for the force out. Good catch by Jeff Mathis. Got his foot back to the plate. 2 away.
Descalso wanting to keep the run from scoring. This ball's not hit hard enough to go around the horn, so comes home, and you got to make sure that foot is on there. You don't have the elevated base with the home plate, so catchers have a tough time knowing when they have to stretch. Did the foot stay on? They usually start in the center of the plate, drag the foot from there.
So Kershaw. Godley in there with a strike. But Godley has been out there for 23 minutes in this half inning. That means at least about 27 minutes between pitches for Kershaw by the time he goes back out there to pitch the 4th. Fouls it off his foot.
Let the sting wear off for this at bat, and then off the right shin, that's going to be his landing leg. If you're going to have anything wrong with either leg, for me, you'd rather have it be the back leg. That front leg takes a lot of pressure when you come down the hill and land and have to stabilize to throw strikes or make the ball move.
Gets him swinging, and that does it for the Dodgers in the 3rd. But they get 3 against Godley and lead it 4-0 to the middle innings with Kershaw back out there. tailored for the day with all shots of Jackie. Dodgers out in front of this one 4-0 as we head on to the 4th inning. Joe Davis and Orr Hershiser, and the Dodgers showing some signs of life early in this game.
They are. They're taking what they've been given. You know, they scored a run with no hits in the inning prior. Now they score a few runs, 3 runs with 2 hits only, but they're taking their walks and they're capitalizing.
And you got the right guy on the mound to try and hold on to this advantage.
Yep, he hasn't gotten a win yet this year. 0-2 with a 1.89. The run support here today. Maybe he gets his first W.
Dodgers trying to turn things around on this young season, and for whatever reason these Diamondbacks have just had their number. You get the sense though that it's just going to take one to kind of get things shifted back in the right direction.
Yeah, earlier in the game we showed the graphic about slow starts from the Dodger years and still ending up in first. It looks like they're still looking for their stride, but once this team catches it, this is almost the roster from last year and the pitching staff. So you think that the talent is on the roster and they believe in themselves. They're just trying to hit their stride, and the first step could be today.
Got these 4 runs on just 2 hits against Zach Godley. Walking him to death, 6 of them over the first 3 innings. Clayton Kershaw, meanwhile, has struck out 6. That includes Paul Goldschmidt his first time up. Heavy reliance on his slider. All 6 of his Ks have come on the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking about that run support they got him. They scored him only 3 runs total in his first 3 starts. 4 of them over the first 3 innings today. On a 2-1. That's low for ball 3.
When you get some runs, you feel fresher. You've got more energy. The adrenaline stays with you. You feel like you can attack. The effort level when you are down or not getting any runs is so much different.
Caught the corner there. Goldschmidt was headed to first. Doesn't like having to come back if the count is full. So now a payoff. He taps it past Kershaw near the bag. It's Utley. Gets off a throw to get him at first. Boy, he had to sidestep the bag. He took a funky bounce by the hip and pulled the trigger to get Goldschmidt, who does run well.
Arizona wants to take a little pause and take a look at that. We will get a look at it right here. He had all kinds of obstacles to deal with. The bag, the hop, the ball not cleanly into his glove, but cleanly into Bellinger's glove. Arizona still waiting to see if it was in time, and they say it was. Wow.
Strike 1 on A.J. Pollock.
If Goldschmidt would have covered a little bit more ground with one of the prior strides, he would have had a heel coming into that bag instead of the last bit of his toe.
Curve has him way out there flailing. 0-2.
You can know that pitch is coming, and it is still hard to hit. It is diving where the bat wants to arrive with it.
Oh-2. And we've got 2 of the most effective curveballs in the game and the 2 starting pitchers today, but they really couldn't be any more different.
Yeah, the big, huge one dropping from the sky from Clayton, and then Godley's is harder and sharper, but it is smaller, almost like a big slider, but goes straight down. Godley's curveball today has been neutralized because he hasn't been able to throw strikes with it or with his fastball. The ineffectiveness of his control today has limited the curveball use.
Kershaw, downhill 1-2. His 7th K of the day on the 7th slider for a strikeout. Streaks were made to be broken. Make history and win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today. They didn't want to make it 5.9 and make it about your streak?
I guess not.
Huh? You didn't think of that one, did you?
I did not. I was.
That one's not made to be broken.
Well, I think it is made to be broken. They're all going to be broken except maybe a few. Cal Ripken's Cy Young win total.
Strike one on Descalso. Yeah, Cal Ripken's is safe.
Yeah. What's Cy Young's win total? Like 511? Some crazy amount of wins.
Don't know it off the top of my head, but
yeah,
my computer does. 511, yeah. Good job.
Thank you. That's the only number I get right every once in a while.
Tries to lay off, can't. What a day for Kershaw so far. He's got 8 punch outs, and the Dodgers have a 4-0 lead.
Have been handed some walks today from Godley's struggles. That curveball, he's thrown 21 of them, only 9 for strikes. So the Dodgers have been taking their walks, getting a key hit from Yasiel Puig, but mainly Godley has not been in the strike zone, and the Dodgers have let him set the table and drive him in.
Those 6 walks matching a career high for Godley. He delivers to Taylor, who belts one to left, and on the first pitch of the 4th, he leaves the yard. His 3rd home run of the homestand, and it's 5-0.
Take a look at the top tier play brought to you by Arco. A breaking ball backs up a little bit. Sharp break, but right into Chris Taylor's swing, which was a beauty.
And now Seager hits a ground ball base hit into center. Boy, if they get the top 2 in the order going, huh? Chris Taylor came into that at-bat hitting .207. Corey Seager below 200. And a home run and then a single for those two fellas.
Seager has been using the middle of the infield. You see the two infielders there, plus a pitcher. Not a lot of holes there, but drove it right back up the middle firmly.
Seager aboard for the second time, and here's Kemp, who walked and scored last inning. Dodgers batted around in the third. Heck of a start here in the fourth. And Matt Kemp takes ball one.
This is where you lick your chops as a hitter. Guy out there struggling with command. You've seen him a lot. Here we are in the bottom of the fourth.
On a 1-1, Kemp lays off, ball two. So Godley out of Bamberg, South Carolina. I hadn't heard of it either. About 4,000 people live there. That's a 2-1 fly. That's on the corner to even the count up.
Go through these losing times here early in the season as the Dodgers try and dig out of it. One of the things they talk about in the locker room is somebody's going to pay, and they have set the table today to really make the Diamondbacks pay and put another crooked number on the board.
And let's face it, losing 3 in a row and 7 of 9, and then looking at an afternoon game less than 24 hours later against the National League ERA leader, that's not a happy thing.
No, it's not. And against a team that has run off a consecutive streak of wins against you in the regular season.
Full count.
Somebody's got to pay as the rest of this game. Stretch the lead. Let Clayton Cruz, maybe let a guy or two in the bullpen get a little work. And get out of here with a big win that makes everybody feel good going into San Diego.
Happy bus trip. I want to say happy flight. It'll be a bus trip after the game today. Kemp strikes out for the first out of the fourth. We are sad to report that we're riding separately, so there will be no follow-up rap videos. At least not on this trip.
Not on this trip.
Fourth K for Godley. Here comes Bellinger.
Should we explain why we're riding separately? Like we're not in an argument. Oh, maybe we are.
Schedules just didn't line up.
Yep.
1-on-1 out for Bellinger.
We're actually not coming home after San Diego, Dana and I. We'll go to a little golf resort for a day.
Must be nice, Hershiser.
Well, it's between San Diego and LA, along the shore there. And I said, you know, after the game, you know, let's go there, spend the night, play some golf the next day, and spend the night, and then get back in.
I'll prepare for the Nationals for us.
I will prepare. I can do that in between shots.
Godley pitches 1-0, and Bellinger fouls it off 1-1. It's always fun going down to San Diego. There always winds up being at least as many Dodger fans as there are Padre fans in there. Dave Roberts' hometown.
Very convenient down there with the hotel and the commute over to the stadium. The Gas Lamp District is a lot of fun to have a nice lunch before you go to the ballpark and head off to work.
One and two. Bellinger got the first Dodger hit off Godley, literally off of Godley. A hard bouncer that ricocheted towards second. Had these 5 runs on 4 hits total. It's been a lot of walks against him. Lays off a curve in the dirt, 2-2. Well, that first inning, I'm sure you were thinking what I was thinking, what everybody that's been watching the Dodgers was thinking was, uh-oh, this could be another long day. 7 pitches, all strikes. Didn't look good. Full count on Bellinger, but it's been a completely different story since then.
Sure has. And the Dodgers did not approach Godley with, we've got to make it happen, but we will once you throw us strikes. Nice take from Bellinger on that last pitch, breaking ball down and in that he held up, built this 3-2 count.
Seager runs. Bellinger bounces one to first. Goldschmidt gets the out there. That's all. They stay out of the potential double play and keep the inning alive for Puig.
Right fielder, Yasiel Puig.
One for 2. Reached on an error and scored, and then singled home a pair. In this series now, 3 hits, 2 walks. Since Dave Roberts moved him down in the order. Boy, did he look comfortable on that base hit at bat. Worked the count full, hardly flinched. And here takes a strike. Taps it to third. Descalso with a running throw that's wide. Goldschmidt will put the tag down. That's the inning. It begins with a Chris Taylor home run. The first pitch that Zach Godley throws. He pounces. And the Dodgers lead at 5-0. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Branch Rickey, the man on the right, deserves a lot of credit for the Jackie Robinson story. Led the charge to ending the color barrier In a lot of ways, looked at Jackie Robinson as the single perfect person to be the guy to break that barrier. He's obviously a great player, but he had the perfect demeanor to be that guy too. He's comfortable with the spotlight, even kind of embraced the spotlight. He'd grown up in a racially mixed environment. That's strike one on Chris Owings to open the 5th inning. It was in Pasadena. Got a great education at UCLA. He'd been a leader, an officer in the Army. And he was just an all-around model citizen. He didn't drink, didn't smoke. He was about to marry his high school sweetheart, Rachel. No balls, 2 strikes. So the timing was right and the person was perfect. Nine Ks today, all on the slider from Kershaw. Hit the bullseye on the outside corner with this one.
He earned this one. He has proved he can hit that outside corner.
Starting to see some Diamondbacks frustrated with the zone and frustrated with lack of offense against Kershaw so far. Misfires the first pitch to Nick Ahmed. Trip Gibson calling balls and strikes today. Real name is Hal Harrison Gibson, but he's the 3rd and so goes by Trip. You could have gone by Trip.
Could have went by Quad.
Oh, you're the 4th.
Yeah.
Right. Did your dad ever go by Trip?
Senior and junior, or Big O and Little O? No, never Trip.
2-2 on Ahmed. Tripp is from Kentucky. In fact, his first major league game was with the Diamondbacks at Chase Field on his 5th year as a major league umpire. Two balls, 2 strikes on Nick Ahmed. A curveball is popped to center field. Taylor, 2 up, 2 down. Clayton Kershaw finally getting some help today. Given up, or had gotten just 3 runs of support over his first 3 starts. He's gotten 5 today, and you know what that equation usually means. In the regular season in his career, 101 when he gets at least 4 runs. And that's actually including the postseason. Two gone for Jeff Mathis, who attacks the first pitch and grounds it foul. Only 2 base runners today. David Peralta twice reached on an error to start the game and doubled with 2 out in the 3rd. Other than that, 9 Ks, a bunch of ground outs, and then that fly ball is the first fly out of the day. Curve drops from the heavens, 0-2. A vintage Kershaw performance this afternoon. Back to the slider for his 10th strikeout of the day, and we're only through 5. Is brought to you by Nissan. 3 games with the Padres in San Diego starting tomorrow night. Off day Thursday. Every Thursday in April is off. And then back-to-back series with the National League East. The Nationals over the weekend. And then the Marlins the following week. 5-0, bottom 5. And Zach Godley to Austin Barnes with a strike. 5-0 lead, and Clayton Kershaw cruising with 10 Ks through 5. That last one I said was a slider. In fact, it was a fastball. First of his 10 Ks today not on a slider.
91. And it had a little bit of break to it, so I can see why you thought it was a slider, and he's predominantly gone with that pitch out there.
Benefiting too from Trip Gibson, giving him a little bit off of the corner, but pitchers of Kershaw's caliber tend to get a little more out there. Barnes shoots one over a leaping Marte for a base hit. He's been aboard all 3 times today.
Not the hardest hit line drive, so it gave Austin Barnes some time right about now, like get up, get out in the outfield. Yes. When you need hits, you need those to fall in.
It's like the Bob Uecker home run call almost. Get up, get up, get out of here. Base hit over second. Looks like this is going to do it for Godley. Double switch coming from Torey Lovello. And getting 4+ out of Godley with the way things went today almost feels like a minor victory for Arizona. Matches a career high with 6 walks. He allows at least 5 runs. Runner at first is responsibility. Started the game with the best earned run average in the National League. He will not finish it with the same. John Ryan Murphy coming on as part of this double switch. We'll let you know who the pitcher is after this. Into the game catching. He'll lead off the next inning. And Silvino Bracho, who's just called up, makes his season debut for the D-backs.
Last season limited right-handed hitters to a .204 average. Chase Utley will turn him over on the other side here. Bracho is a guy that they count on as a kind of an emergency guy, losing Taijuan Walker to the DL. Hope he can eat some innings down here, 5-0.
After the leadoff single for Barnes, it's Utley, who has walked today twice. Strike 1. Between Barnes and Utley in the order, they've reached all 5 times they've been up. 4 walks and a single. Falls off the table and Utley takes it. Ball on his strike. Like Jackie Robinson, Pasadena roots for Chase Utley. He was born there, then raised in Long Beach, Poly High School. Dreamt of one day playing for the Dodgers. In fact, he was in the stands game 2 of the 1988 World Series when he was 9. And out of high school, the Dodgers drafted him. It wasn't one of those things like you hear with Paul Goldschmidt. Dodgers drafted him out of high school, but in the 40th some round. No, Chase was drafted in the 2nd round, but decided to go to UCLA. A strike, 2-2. You hate to hear stories where that happens and then it backfires. They don't get another chance, but he actually improved his standing. A few years later, 1st round pick of the Phillies, 15th overall. It was 18 years ago now. After he was drafted, the Dodgers even brought him into the stadium. You got to meet Tommy Lasorda. All the while thinking, yeah, I'm probably going to UCLA still. The Dodgers were courting him and hoping that he'd sign. They got him eventually.
The scouts got it right back then. He just went earlier in the draft when he decided to turn pro.
That's by Goldschmidt and down the line. Utley's headed for second with a double.
Drives this ball by Goldschmidt. Reaction time not enough down there at first. And then Owings hesitates a little bit in the right field corner, which made it very easy for Chase to cruise into second.
Second and third, nobody out. Hernandez comes up. Boy, he's had a lot of traffic for him on the bases his 3 times up. Twice with the bases loaded and now 2 on. For 1 so far. Brought home a run with a sacrifice fly, and then bounced into a fielder's choice. Bracho's 1-0. Hernandez belts one towards the left field corner. Foul. Two and one. Mets won a little bit ago on a walk-off home run against the Brewers, and so they maintain the best record in the NL over the Diamondbacks, 12-2. Arizona 11-3. Four more postponements today. And as I say that, I'm taking another glance at the scoreboard. 6 postponements today.
Wow. East Coast weather is not good.
A strike, 2-2. Really, it's 5 because there was a doubleheader set up in Detroit that was canceled. So Detroit, Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City, Chicago, all canceled today because of bad weather. On a 2-2, Hernandez fouls it off. Had a Dodger fan on Twitter yesterday in Minnesota tweet a picture out his window of the driving snowstorm that he's sitting in. And I don't want to hear about the weather I'm sitting in. That's why you're tuned into Los Angeles Dodger baseball. Take your mind off that, right? Always count on blue skies here.
We don't have a dome, and you should have one.
It's a beautiful park, but you're right.
Yeah.
Got him swinging, 1 out.
Now batting, number 42, Kershaw.
And here's Kershaw.
Where you want your starter to lay down a bunt. Well, no, you really don't. I was thinking that we were first and second. I fell asleep there. I apologize. Second and third, put it in play. Drive it through this drawn-in infield.
You were just pushing for a squeeze, huh?
Yeah, something. I was trying to get him some rest, up 5-0. Hoping he doesn't need any more.
Takes one outside. Hey, so that crazy play yesterday where Devin Marrero lost his home run, passing Alex Avila on the base paths. That specific scenario, first and second, a home run hit. The hitter passes the runner at first. That's the 4th time in the history of baseball that's happened. Ball and a strike. The first time the Dodgers did it. 1930. They had men at first and second, and a guy named Glenn Wright hit a long drive to right center field. Babe Herman, he was one of the great hitters of that era. He was the runner at first base. He slowed up when it looked like it had a chance to be caught, a lot like Avila did last night. Kershaw swings and misses 1 and 2, and the ball bounced off the top of the fence, out for a home run. But Herman's slowing up to see. Glenn Wright's got his head down, busting around first. He passes Herman. And so a 2-run single, but no home run. Just like for Marrero. Kershaw strikes out, 2 away. And this is that play we're referring to if you didn't happen to be tuned in last night. There's a home run against Hill, but as he's rounding first, he passes Alex Avila, and the rule is that the runner that does the passing is out. The rest of the play still happens, assuming that that's not a 3rd out. Here's a bit of a wrinkle to it. If it is the 3rd out, it's treated like a timing play. So you check and see where the runners are when the passing happens, and determine what runs score and what runs don't. Chris Taylor drills one down the line. That gets to the wall. He's driven home 2 more. The Dodgers lead at 7-0 and a 2-run double from Taylor. He's seen 2 pitches the last 2 innings, homered and driven home 2 with a double.
Slow-mo cam brought to you by Morongo Casino. Up fastball. The home run was on a breaking ball off of Godley. That an up-tailing fastball. Doesn't matter the speed. It doesn't matter the break. Chris Taylor is locked in.
Two outs and Corey Seager walking a single so far. That's a strike.
You know, it was interesting to me on the home run single. For me, when I watch the replay, Marrero is farther from second base if you hesitate than Avila. Because Avila is on the inside part, and Marrero has made a kind of a wide turn. And I don't know when you pass somebody if you're still farther from second base than the other guy. I know the angles from the high home and different angles showed them kind of staggered, and maybe he was ahead of them. But I'm not sure who was closer to second base.
And it has to be completely passed.
I know, and the call on the field was home run. The first base ump is giving like a safe sign on the 2 runners possibly passing or not. Well, I was surprised when they called it that he passed him.
1-2. Bracho showing a nice changeup. in this inning. This is the definitive look according to Major League Baseball.
So I'm looking and seeing.
And this is from the Diamondbacks broadcast, the best look that the TV crews had.
And when Avila is on his right foot, kind of close there, has looked like he's going back to almost tag up and then doesn't. And then when Marrero comes by, and is that, or did he really get by him? Did he really get closer to second base? As far as distance from first base, Marrero's definitely farther from first base because of the turn he was making.
I was never good at geometry.
Yeah, I know. I think you were, but I don't know. It's just something I thought of because it was such a close play, and it's like, okay, how do you completely determine it?
Get out your protractors.
Didn't surprise me that it was a possible call. It surprised me that there was enough to reverse it.
Right. Yeah, overturn. Usually if it's close, which it was, you see it stand, especially when it's a significant one like that, taking a home run from a guy. Seager bounces one to Goldschmidt at first, who will take it to the bag, and the inning is over. They get two more on a double from Taylor, and after 5, lead at 7-zip. The Coors Light refreshing finish. We're only through 5 innings, and Clayton Kershaw already has 10 strikeouts today. 9 of them coming on the slider.
59th time he's had 10 Ks, or at least a 10K game, and his team, the Dodgers, are 47-11 when he does that. And they're in a good place again today.
We'll see John Ryan Murphy to lead off this inning. All this talk, and we're guilty of it too, but all the talk of the diminished velocity. And look at what he's done so far this year. When you forget about the wins and losses, which more and more people are learning to forget about when judging pitchers. It has been a very Kershaw-esque start to the season. Right now sitting at 29 strikeouts and 3 walks. With an earned run average creeping its way down around 1.
He left spring training with an ERA of 0.00.
Little dribbler in front of the plate. Kershaw now gets involved, fielded it, and gets Murphy for the first out of the 6.
Austin coming out of his haunches, and Clayton running after being about 55 feet away. After you stride, he beats him to the spot.
Best ERAs since the dead ball era. Number 1. David Peralta back at the top of the order. He's the only man to reach base today for Arizona. Did it on an error and did it on a double, the lone hit. By ERA plus, and we've talked about this with Kershaw before, this is something that allows you to compare pitchers across generations. So it kind of allows you to compare apples to oranges, apples of the dead ball era, oranges of another era. He's got the #1 starter's ERA in baseball history. A little bit outside, ball 1. Number 2 is Pedro Martinez. Number 3 is Lefty Grove, who pitched for the A's and the Red Sox in the 20s and 30s. And then it's the big train, Walter Johnson, who was part of the dead ball era. Pitched into the modern era after that. He was around for more than 2 decades, Walter Johnson was. It's a nice reminder looking at a stat like that at what we're watching every time this guy takes the ball. He's got 11 Ks. That one with a fastball, painting the outside corner.
Kershaw has been excellent, and his excellence is bringing on a lot of frustration from the Diamondback lineup. I won't be surprised if a strikeout or 2 from now on, somebody gets kicked out.
Yeah, it's got that feeling to it, doesn't it? Torey Lovullo, you know, at the start of this road trip, got kicked out of a game for arguing balls and strikes and suspended a game. Marte pops it foul, strike 1. He went out in St. Louis and started arguing, and then incited Yadier Molina a little bit. Had some choice words for him. Molina charged after him. The two had to be separated. Lovullo was suspended a game, already served that suspension. They're saying it's already hard enough to face this guy. Didn't you hear Joe? He already talked about ERA plus, best ever. And he's getting extension off the corners. Makes it impossible. That'd be the argument from that Diamondbacks dugout.
You throw enough on the borderline, you start to get your 50%.
Marte swings through it. It was dropped by Barnes, but he'll tag him out. That's 12 strikeouts, and the inning is over. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Jackie's got some family in the ballpark today. His nephew Edward, his niece Kathy, who are the son and the daughter of Jackie's big brother Mac. Both here today. Their extended families are here. Both of them worked here at Dodger Stadium at one point. Edward is a souvenir vendor. Kathy was an usher. And Kathy's daughter, her name's Sachi Hamilton, is now in her first year as an usher at Dodger Stadium. Continuing the family Dodger tradition, continuing her side of the family's Dodger tradition of working here at the ballpark. She's down in the field level. And her mom, Kathy, talks about walking in here her first day in 1981, getting off the elevator for her first day as an usher, and having Vin Scully greet her. Matt Kemp starting the sixth. Silvino Bracho delivers an 0-1, and Kemp looks at a fastball, strike 0-2.
Matt smiling about the called strike.
And now down swinging. One out.
First baseman, number 42, Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger 1 for 3, a couple of ground outs, single with a run scored. Strike one. Padres have a 7-1 lead on the Giants on their way to taking 3 of 4 from San Francisco. Christian Villanueva, sorry Oral, hit his 5th home run of the year today. Bellinger slices this one down the line. Bermuda's triangle out there. Everybody overrunning it, and it falls in for a hit. Cody living right.
Some odd routes and maybe some funky spin on this. Cody Bellinger, tremendous bat speed, and this pop-up had tremendous height. Tough sky, and then some major curvature of the ball as it came down. Peralta in left field probably should have been the captain on this one. Those sunglasses on the hat always help when it's tough to see.
If the hat had a glove, it would have caught it. One on, one out for Puig. Ball one. So the Padres will be winners of 3 in a row when the Dodgers open that series there tomorrow. They're sitting at 7-10.
In Jackie's day, you had the flip down glasses that went underneath the brim.
Those are still around, right?
You see a few. The elastic band around the back of your head and the bridge of your nose. It was resting there, and actually wasn't felt like it resting as you kept it on tight, so when you ran they didn't wobble. You had to actually felt a little pressure on the bridge of your nose from the tightness from the band around your head, and then little flaps to knock them down if you hit the top of your bill of your cap, or even little edges on the sunglasses that you could feel that came and protruded outside the bill of your cap. You could flip them down easier. Your hat was sweating on a day game, and that's where you normally warm, right? With the sunglasses, you had to keep watching them to make sure they were going to be clean when you flipped them down. Sometimes your hat got wringing wet.
Puig chases here. 2-2. One in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. Only 1 hit for the Diamondbacks. against Clayton Kershaw, who's retired 12 in a row since then. Two. Got him swinging. Bracho's 4th K in 1 2/3 and 2 out. Up comes Austin Barnes.
Number 42, Austin Barnes.
A little too much right there. Up 7-0, and it looked like a swing that he almost took for himself. A little aggressive.
Nice throw, though.
I think that's why he's upset. Missing a pitch right there.
I meant of the bat into the rack. Yeah. Strike on Barnes. This next part of the order here with Barnes and Utley. They've reached all 6 times. 4 walks, a single, and a double for these two guys. Got Barnes starting at catcher for only the 5th time this year. You have Utley making back-to-back starts for the 1st time. Both contributing in a big way. Two and one. Nationals lost again today. Washington is 7-9. Favorite in the East. Really the far and away favorite in the East. Dodgers welcome them in next weekend. See them again in a few weeks on a road trip to the East Coast. 2-2 on Barnes. Best record in baseball belongs to the Boston Red Sox under first-year manager Alex Cora. They are 13-2. Angels are 13-3.
I'm taking a glance down the standings, and boy, there are some pretty good records out there.
Barnes looks at strike 3, and the inning is over. We go to the 7th. All Dodgers so far this afternoon.
New Dodger Mini plans are on sale now. Choose from 3, including the 11-game bobblehead plan featuring Kenley Calrissian Star Wars bobblehead presented by Pirelli. Mini plan pricing starts at $24. Visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
To the 7th we go. Jock Peterson, a defensive sub for Matt Kemp in left. Put him in the 3 spot in the order. Clayton Kershaw has thrown 88 pitches. He has struck out 11 over 6 shutout innings. 89 pitches. Part of the order here: Goldschmidt, Pollock, Descalso. Goldschmidt attacks the first pitch, and it's foul. I said 11 Ks, 12.
The 20th time in his career he struck out 12, and now the record for the Dodgers in those games, 19-0.
Goldschmidt flies it to deep center field. Chris Taylor's racing back, out of room and gone. 3rd time in Paul Goldschmidt's career he's homered off Clayton Kershaw. He's broken up the shutout here in the 7th.
Boos for the home run, and boos that the fans haven't thrown the ball back yet. It's a good piece of hitting. Clayton has worn out that outside corner. That one got a little bit more of the corner that maybe he wanted, but Goldschmidt put a very good swing on that to elevate that ball.
How about no fear from the guy? Head first dive onto the black tarp as if it's like feathers under it. Miguel Hernandez throws out Pollock. 1 away. Well, Kershaw has now allowed 4 runs while on the mound this season. That 5th run came after he left the game in San Francisco. All 4 runs that he's allowed while on the mound have been 4 solo home runs. Descalso down on strikes both times.
You know, that would be alarming, the home runs, if it was such a pattern. But the reason it's a pattern, or the reason it's even a number, is because he doesn't give up many hits. He doesn't walk people. He strikes a lot of people out. And it's hard to score on him other than hitting the ball over the fence. Everybody else, well, his Achilles heel is the home run ball. Well, that's a really small Achilles. You don't get much.
Fly ball right center field. This one playable for Chris Taylor. And Descalso the 2nd out.
Right fielder Chris Owings.
Here's Chris Owings. A curve, which you've not seen a ton of today. It's over for a strike. So most of that slider. Owens pops it foul. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes.
That slider has got a lot of swings. 22 swings today, and 10 of the times they've actually swung and missed. So it's almost 50-50 that he throws the slider and they swing. They don't even make contact.
That's Baez getting ready. It's another gem for Kershaw at Dodger Stadium. Owens lays off curveball, 1-2. Against the Diamondbacks here in his career, 13 starts, 8-1 with a 154. Looking to go to 9-1. Keep that ERA in the same low vicinity. 1-2. Pop up, short right. Puig's on. He's got it. 7 magnificent innings from Clayton Kershaw today with a dozen strikeouts and plenty of support. LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. At UCLA, Jackie was a running back on the football team. He's an NCAA champion long jumper, and he led the conference in scoring in basketball. Other than that, didn't do a whole lot. Ball went on Chase Utley. As we get rolling into the bottom of the 7th, Clayton Kershaw having thrown 100 pitches. A very Kershaw-esque day. 7 innings, just 2 hits, 12 Ks. Utley takes ball 2.
We are so spoiled because you get into a losing streak, but you know he's coming tomorrow, and you already plan out in your head how the day's probably going to go. And there's not even an anticipation or an anxiety like, you know, I hope he can do it. It's going to get done. And then he has a day like today, and you go, it's too easy. And we know how much he works and concentrates and wants it and puts everything into it to get it done, but he has spoiled us. It's almost unfair, the bar that he's raised for himself. But he continues to want to jump over it himself. He doesn't care about what has happened in the past.
Utley grounds out to second. And in him spoiling us, it's kind of human nature to take it for granted, right? I don't think that many people do take him for granted, but it is a good reminder every now and then to think about how great this guy is when you're thinking all time in baseball.
I mean, this will be his first win of the season. Came into this 0-2. You know, whispers of is the fastball going to be crisp enough? He's going to have to rely on the curveball and slider too much this year. Has given up home runs to left-handed hitters this year. Is that going to start to creep in? They're only observations for a very short term with him. And then he gets back on the horse and does his thing.
By the way, that's a new Dodger there in the on-deck circle. He'll wear 42. That's strike 2 on Hernandez. Breivik Valera about to make his Dodger debut. Obviously kidding about the 42 thing. His number starting tomorrow will be 33. Hot start in AAA Oklahoma City, and he's the man that they bring up with Logan Forsythe put on the disabled list with a shoulder problem. Hernandez strikes out swinging. For the second out of the 7th, Valera heads to the plate. We head down to Alana.
Guys, primarily Valera an outfielder, but also plays a lot of second base. When I asked him earlier today his comfort level as far as all of the infield spots, he said, well, second base is definitely the primary position in the infield, but he can play shortstop as well as third base as well. This guy has a bit of power that the Dodgers liked and is up here right now, at least for the time being, until Logan Forsythe gets healthy or they bring someone else up.
Thank you, Alana. We're from the Cardinals organization, and really impressive numbers at the AAA level, as you just saw over the course of his time there. A couple seasons. Takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Valera's 26 years old, out of Venezuela, and he did taste the majors for a short time last year. 5 games in a September call-up with the Cardinals. Got his first major league hit during that run. Slices this one foul, and he's behind 1-2. Kershaw's day officially finished with Valera batting. 2 out in the 7th, 7-1 Dodgers. And a 1-2. Upstairs, ball 2. It's a nice take. Full count. Pretty Dodger-like at bat, at least how they like them here.
So far, so good. Bracho on his game. 6 Ks of the 8 outs that he has recorded.
On a 3-2, Valera takes outside, ball 4, and shows a good eye in his first impression.
Put on a new uniform, come to the organization in a very short time, and take a walk like that shows he understands what he can do in the batter's box.
It's the 7th walk for the team today, Oral, which matches the total from the first 4 games of the homestand. Taylor didn't need to walk because he crushed it over the fence a couple of innings ago, and then followed that with a 2-run double. He seems to be coming to life here. Boy, he homered on the first pitch. He hit his 2-run double on the first pitch, and had bad intentions on that first pitch. One and one.
Even through the Dodgers' little doldrums with the offense, one of the stats that stood out, they weren't walking, but they had one of the highest line drive percentages on first pitch attacking in all of the big leagues. There were some silver linings that they were looking at as they were slumping.
Bracho's 1-2. Chris Taylor's so important, as any leadoff hitter is, but really the engine of this lineup. In the losses this season, Taylor's hitting 179. If this winds up being a win, his average in the wins well above 300. 179 in the losses, above 300 in the wins.
I love the tone that he sets. You know, he's got that grinded out approach up there. Disciplined with all his movements, staring out at the pitcher like, all right, I'm getting ready for you. Points the bat out, just getting ready, loads it up, and then attacks.
But he can also take you out of the ballpark.
Yeah, he doesn't, not a free swinger, but he's an aggressive swinger. When he gets the pitch he's looking for, or one that he decides to let it go on, it's not just a two-strike approach swing like a leadoff hitter that's kind of a punch and Judy or just a slap hitter. He's cutting it loose.
You're right, he has those pest personality, you know, the tendencies that a pesky guy will have, fouling off a lot of pitches, but he adds the pop and the aggressiveness in there too. It's quite a blend.
When the swing is free and easy, it doesn't seem to have a lot of tension. It's got strength, but not tension. Good eye-hand coordination, and without that tension, that creates a very accurate bat.
So after a homer and a double on the first pitch of the last two at-bats, he's worked this count into an 8th pitch from Bracho. And make it 9.
That's when you know a guy is seeing the ball well out of a pitcher's hand. He has been very aggressive. Excuse me. But then all of a sudden there's a borderline one, so he's in swing mode. But if it's not there, he's able to take.
Chases here, strike 3, and good stuff from Bracho today. Through a 7 innings in a 7-1 game. Check in with the studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by your Southern California Ford
Thanks,
dealers.
Joe. Clayton Kershaw Day, Jackie Robinson Day, both a smashing success so far. Finally, some run support for Kershaw, although he hasn't needed a whole lot. Nomar, Jerry will break it down right after the game.
John's been a little jumpy lately, huh?
Tad, I think the caffeine is hitting him there in the studio. You have a cup of coffee or two while you're watching the game, getting ready for the post game.
Valera stays in the game. He'll play second base. He came out of the dugout all charged up after his walk and his first plate appearance as a Dodger, ready to go out there and play defense. without his hat. He forgot his hat and had to run back into the dugout to grab it. Here's Pedro Baez.
Well, Pedro's gotten off to a good start here so far this year. He'd just like to clean up those walks. 1 every 3 innings is not really the best for a reliever. You want to be sure you've got a guy coming out of that pen throwing strikes, but the strikeout ball is working. 6 in his 6 1/3.
Bottom of the order, Nick Ahmed to lead this inning off. Ball 1. A little over 47,000 today. Fitting. Debut for Jackie Robinson, 1947. Quick road trip in San Diego. Off day Thursday. Nationals on Friday. Two and 1. Nice pitch, 2 and 2.
That corner has been large today, and the Dodger pitchers have worn it out. Clayton wore it out, and now Pedro headed there. And tip your cap to Austin Barnes behind the plate, realizing where he's getting strikes called.
Back of first, Bellinger. Valera makes a running catch. Getting involved in the game here in his first game in Dodger blue.
Hat or no hat, he brought the glove. He used it very well. That was a nice route to get over there and understand where the warning track is in the wall.
Pinch hitter number 42, Christian Walker.
Christian Walker, the pinch hitter here. 1 out in the 8th. Padres now lead the Giants 10-1. Tyler Beede gave up 5 runs today over 3 2/3, and then Osich has given up 2. Derek Law's given up 3. Jose Peralta hitting leadoff for San Diego. He's got 3 hits, hitting well above 300 early on this season. Just tripled home a couple of runs. Padres have a young pitcher who the Dodgers won't see this trip, but who pitched today, named Joey Lucchesi. He's 24 years old, a left-hander that is about to move to 2-0. A 1.72 ERA in his first 4 starts. Big guy, 6'5", 200 pounds. Gets in on Walker, fouled back 1 and 2.
Slider away. Pedro just pulled a little bit. Working really hard on that in his changeup. Trying to be more of a mystery this year than defaulting to that high fastball. I think he's thrown more back-to-back sliders or slider then changeup this year than he did all of last year. Really liking his pitch mix this year.
Gets him with a high fastball. 2 out.
Well, you add that one in after slowing him down with the breaking ball. That's the pitch that he would almost throw every pitch, and hitters would either take it and then fall into a 2-0 count, or he'd be real precise and locked in and mow him down. But he was victim to a lot of ambushes, and with the pitch mix he's using now, hitters are not going to be as comfortable to just say, oh, it's going to be fastball and start it and ambush him. They're going to have to actually read the pitch.
2 up and 2 down. John Ryan Murphy lifts the first pitch up, and it'll tumble down as a souvenir in the 5th or 6th row. One of the guys chasing it had no chance. He's holding a baby. I guess he had a chance, but it wouldn't have ended well for the baby. There he is.
A lot of times it goes to the youngest child, but I'm not sure that youngest would remember not getting the ball.
Right. What's the minimum age
that somebody would remember?
Yeah, where that rule should be in place, that the kid gets the ball.
If they're crying, if they start crying because they didn't get it, they're probably going to remember it.
But I don't know if we want to get to that point. I don't want to make the kid cry, you know? You got to know before you decide.
You just got to be a good poker player. You got to read the face before those full tears start coming out. When there's that slight moment where which way should the ball go?
Right.
I don't know.
I think when in doubt, you give it to the kid.
The youngest.
Yeah, like that borderline. I'm saying.
Oh, you always
like,
give it to the kid.
Right.
But I thought we were debating between which one.
I'm saying at what age does that become the case? Because you don't give it to the newborn.
No.
Right?
No.
Pedro Baez, a 1-2-3 8th inning. Good stuff from him, sending us to the bottom of the 8th. Like this kid here, you definitely give him the ball.
Exactly.
He's of age.
Stadium on Sunday, April 22nd, when the Dodgers take on the Nationals. The first 12,000 kids 14 and under in attendance will receive a Junior Dodgers bat bag. Compliments of High Chew. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Jorge De La Rosa. Second game in a row he's pitched in. 2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers, trying to add a little bit more on before the 9th inning. Corey Seager, then it'll be Jock Peterson and Cody Bellinger. To make a decision on age where you have to give him the ball?
I'm thinking through it. I'm actually grinding out this issue, and I'm wondering if we need to come up with little Dodger ID cards that say you're, old enough to get a foul ball. Card them.
I think 2 is a safe age.
I think 2 is a pretty good age, yeah.
Nothing in 2 on Seager. Celebrates a birthday in a couple of weeks.
It's such a memorable moment, to get a foul ball at a big league game. I mean, you could be 60 years old and it's still a memorable moment.
At what age do you start remembering things?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know when exactly that happens.
I mean, the people that end up with those photographic memory that can tell you what they were doing, what they ate on every single day. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That one's not going to remember much about this.
It was a good sleep.
Aren't they all? 2 and 2.
The Dodgers are going to sleep better tonight. There's some tossing and turning in Dodger beds, getting ready for the next game. Start to win. You sleep a lot better. Food tastes better too.
Even the ground looks better. Seager the first out of the 8th. Great day to be out here. Beautiful afternoon. Temperatures high 70s. Some sun, but not too much of it. It's overcast right now. Careful with that ear. First at bat today for Jock Peterson, who came on for Matt Kemp defensively a couple of innings ago. Big swing and a small foul, strike 1. Pop fly left side. Nick Ahmed 2 out. Ross Stripling going to handle the 9th inning for the Dodgers. Cody Bellinger's kept a nice run going with a 2 for 4 afternoon. Average at .315 right now. So thus far, no sophomore slump for him. Of course, many of the questions to Cody coming into the season were about that. He didn't want anything to do with that. He knew the questions were coming and was okay with them, but he wasn't buying into the theory. I saw a couple quotes from him where he had some choice words about the sophomore slump. 1-1. Probably also used the word chilling there. It's usually going to hear that once or twice in a conversation with him. Yesterday the cage said, "Cody," and he goes, "Chilling." I didn't even ask how you were doing. Said, "I know, it's my favorite word, it's my go-to." And you're reminded he's 22. Doesn't turn 23 until mid-July. Down on strikes here, sending this one to the 9th inning. Dodgers 3 outs away from finally getting those Diamondbacks. Clayton Kershaw, 7 innings, gives up the Goldschmidt home run, but that is all, and he strikes out a season-high 12.
20th time he struck out 12, and now the Dodgers, if Ross Stripling gets a clean inning here, or even if there's a little scar, they will be 20-0 when Clayton strikes out 12.
They've all been clean innings as far as the bottom line for Ross Stripling through 9 1/3 this year.
Well, he has been outstanding, and he is a jack of all trades, master of all. Put him in any situation. You need length, you got him out of the bullpen. You need a spot start, you need some leverage innings, he can do that. And he also can clean up a strong Dodger win.
Be some good work for him here with the top of the Diamondbacks order. It's a long trip for the Diamondbacks finishing up. They had the homestand to open the year. Then they went at St. Louis, at San Francisco, at LA. They go home for 6, and then they got to go east again at Philly, at Washington.
Their second half must be a little easier.
Well, you get into May, they go at the Mets.
Okay.
At the Brewers, at the A's on one trip. And that's brutal. All packed into the first couple months. So yeah, I'm looking through it to see after that, because here's another trip east in June. 4 in Pittsburgh, 4 in Miami, back to back.
I guess after the All-Star break, they're going to be west.
Belted down the line. Peralta with a ground rule double to open the ninth.
Second baseman Patel Marte.
Yeah, they do stick around more in the second half, just taking a quick gander at their schedule. So they've had 4 base runners today. 3 times it's been Peralta. 2 doubles, and reached on an air to start the game. Now Ketel Marte, curveball for a strike. What do you think? We've seen a bunch of the Diamondbacks so far. The Dodgers can hang on. They'll be 11-4. One of the best records in the league. You think they're one of the best teams in the National League?
I think they've got an opportunity to be. You know, the Taijuan Walker now hurt. We're watching their rotation. That's going to be a key ingredient for them the rest of the year.
Hard hit into center, base hit. First run allowed by Ross Stripling this year as Marte brings home Peralta, 7-2.
Feels like they're going to score. It feels like they're going to pitch well out of the bullpen. I think the only place that they're going to have to watch is the health of their rotation. They were 7-0 against left-handers coming into this game, but Clayton Kershaw is going to put a blemish on that.
Here's Goldschmidt. There's the ability to make this a lot more interesting than anybody in Dodger blue would like. Takes ball 1.
You got to put the Diamondbacks above the Giants.
Oh yeah.
Got to put them above the Padres. We'll see with the Rockies.
Rockies are 9-8. Just took 2 of 3 from the Nationals. And remember, they're off to this 11-3 start without Steven Souza yet. He was supposed to be one of their big bats in the middle of the order. Without Jake Lamb for more than half of their games. And without a productive Paul Goldschmidt for the first 2 weeks, really until the last few days.
That's what really tells me that their offense is going to be fine. You're getting production out of Owings and Ahmed, and Scalzo. Certain parts that you rely on, but you weren't counting on the production they've started off with.
Godley looked human today when you're talking about the rotation. Not feeling totally solid. Corbin's been great. Walker Mentioned going on the DL. We'll see how bad the forearm issue is. Greinke was really good the other night, but has dealt with injuries in his past. Saw him tighten up and then pitch through that in the opener of this series. And a tight groin during spring training. Robbie Ray hasn't been as effective early on this year as he was last year. And they will get Shelby Miller back at some point from Tommy John. It's fouled back. Full count on Goldschmidt.
The beautiful outing that Corbin had against the Dodgers. The Dodgers will tell you that they didn't make very good adjustments in game there, that he was burying his breaking ball, and they should have been maybe laying off it after the first time through the order, seeing how he's throwing it. They'd like to have another shot at him next time around.
That's a walk. 2 on, nobody out. And it probably won't be long before you see Kenley Jansen start to get moving. That may be the call that sparks it.
People glancing over like, do we need a longer delay? Is Rick going to come out? Probably hold that for one more batter. Double play is in order, and Kenley Jansen is getting up. Before he has to throw in earnest, Ross Stripling would like to turn 2.
With A.J. Pollock up there. 2 home runs a night ago. At the knees, but a little bit low. A little bit of restlessness in here right now. Pollock corks one to left field, but Jock Peterson is there for the first out of the inning. And now a ground ball could end it.
Third baseman Daniel Descalso.
Descalso is 0 for 3. A couple of Ks and a fly out to center. That kicks off of Barnes. Wandering off of first is Goldschmidt, and he's out on the second try. Came off of the bag, and Bellinger put it on him. 2 away.
Goldschmidt reads this as everybody's going to move up, but he's not the only one on the bases, and Marte is not moving. Goldschmidt gets back cleanly there. That'll be interesting because maybe the right leg sneaks back in there, anticipating a tag when he's off the base there, but watch the other leg. First base umpire Brian Gorman might have had the best angle, because he was right there looking at the right leg with the perfect angle, with the foot coming in and the bag there. Definitely the left leg gets in on the first try, but then leaving the bag, the right leg comes back at it. They're reviewing this one. There's a good shot at it. See where Brian Gorman is with a perfect angle. Wow, it looks like his foot gets back. I don't know, though. Could be some air there that Brian is seeing. Call on the field is out. Great throw and anticipation of the tag from Cody Bellinger. Austin Barnes getting it down there after trying to block it, scooted away and stayed with the play and recognized that Goldschmidt had wandered too far off.
Boy, and this will be a big second out with the Diamondbacks threatening to make things interesting here. The call on the field is that he's out. Do they have enough to overturn it?
Looking at every possible angle. These are the ones that usually take a little bit longer.
Here comes our verdict. He's safe. So back to first goes Goldschmidt, and back to 1 goes the out tally. 7-2 game, 9th inning. Still a ground ball away from getting out of here.
They don't need to delay it all to get Kenley Jansen ready now. Plenty of time there.
That's true. A pop-up. Hernandez at third with the infield fly rule in effect. 2 out. And the Dodgers in out away.
Right fielder Chris Owings.
Nice job by Ross Stripling battling back in this inning. Now just looking for one more.
They needed Clayton Kershaw to be the stopper, as they have so many times. And he was. 12 Ks, just 1 run allowed over his 7 innings of work. Owings hits a hot shot to short. Seager goes the short way, and that does it. The Dodgers back to their winning ways, taking this one 7-2 behind Clayton Kershaw. And the offense breaking out with a 7-run performance on 8 hits.
Seems like every year is division title after division title. And the foundation of that is Clayton Kershaw. He turned this year around so far. Let's see if they can keep it up going out to San Diego.
Yep, they'll head down there just in a bit. A couple of buses heading south, take on the Padres, opening up that series tomorrow night before coming back here to Dodger Stadium with the Nationals in town on Friday. Jackie Robinson Day is finished with a Dodger win. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins after this 7-2 Dodger win.